Okay, I'm glad you came back to complete your statement.
Dan Arteaga?
Good morning. I'm here because my younger brother was killed at the Twin Towers facility in 2018, and the sheriffs covered it up. They lied about it. They didn't follow their own procedures for officer-related incidents. You guys talked about officer shootings today, but before the policy was the same for any incident that involved law enforcement, whether it was shooting or in custody deaths, they should be the same procedures. As of this morning, I looked up my brother's information. He's still on the website. I was concerned that that would be eliminated since they updated the system. And so here we are, 2 years later, and he's still, according to the website, an inmate at Twin Towers with no release date. So, just crazy. That needs to be addressed. Like I said, the sheriffs, the homicide department deputies, you assume that they would be of the most highest caliber, the most highest integrity they would have. You think if you choose professions, but they're not. Like I said, they're liars. I would like to see criminal charges brought against these people. Set the example. Them investigating their own, as was mentioned here earlier, is inappropriate. As long as it definitely makes no sense. Why not implement some kind of plan where there's some kind of like Mothers of America kind of group, maybe, yeah, something like that.
Thank you, your time is up. What's your brother's name?
Daniel Arteaga.
Orgiano or Arteaga?
Arteaga.
Arteaga. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, thank you, everyone. We're going to, any comments from you? So, thank you all for coming out on a Saturday. This is the first time we've been able to do this, and I appreciate that we
adopted as recommendations to the Sheriff's Department. There are a few policies that are problematic or don't take full advantage of the Sheriff's Department's proposed policies that are problematic, or don't take full advantage of the benefits of body-worn cameras both to the public and to the Sheriff's Department. So the long and short of it is, we had hoped to have something to you today. We don't, but I am optimistic that we've had 2 meetings already of the ad hoc committee on body-worn cameras, and I'm optimistic that within the next week or 2, we'll have a report with respect to the 2 areas that we think warrant recommendations for further considerations by the Sheriff's Department with respect to body-worn cameras and policies around them. I think we're all in agreement, certainly the ad hoc committee was, that whatever we do here, it's important not to make perfect the enemy of the good, and that is that whatever we're doing here, that we not slow down the implementation of body-worn cameras at the earliest possible time by the Sheriff's Department. So that's a very brief update, status report on where we're at.
Okay, thank you. We look forward to hearing more, and possibly will be an agenda item for the March meeting. Okay, so now we have an opportunity. Are there any other questions? Sorry, committee work.
Not on the body worn cameras, although I applaud the work that they're doing. As to the ad hoc committee on the deputy clerks,
Let me put the nail in this coffin real tight. God hates a coward.
We're living in a time period where it's not even a joke anymore to say, when did we step into the Twilight Zone? The Twilight Zone has become reality. Science fiction has become science fact.
In bits and pieces. This is an attempt to pull most of it together. We know we don't have the full story. We do, however, have some striking new revelations and insights.
But I lived through it.
This man worked on some of these programs. He would write of his work, it was fun, fun, fun.
We are not professing to tell you the complete story of these activities. We are professing to tell you the complete story that we know. But these records that we've uncovered don't tell the story. They tell pieces of it.
This is a story that has been told in bits and pieces. This is an attempt to pull most of it together. We know in bits and pieces. This is an attempt to pull most of it together. We know we don't have the full story. We do, however, have some striking new revelations and insights. It was here that the first halting steps toward mind control began. The shaper and molder of OSS was General Wild Bill Donovan. He said of his group's work, "We may have made mistakes, but we were not afraid to try things that were never done before." In this anything-goes atmosphere, Donovan appointed this man, Stanley Lovell, a Boston industrialist, to break new ground in many scientific and technical fields. Donovan called Lovell his Dr. Moriarty, after the fiendish professor in Sherlock Holmes. Lovell liked the name and posed for this Saturday Evening Post photo. He later wrote of his OSS job that it was, quote, "to stimulate the PEC's bad boy beneath the surface of every American scientist, and to say to him, throw all of your normal law-abiding concepts out of the window. Here's a chance to raise merry hell." It was in this atmosphere that the search for mind control began. This bizarre man would be an active participant in that search over the next 2 decades. His name is George White, an OSS captain who had formerly been with the Bureau of Narcotics. In his diary, seen here publicly for the first time, White left a legacy of the darker side of American intelligence work. He received his early OSS training at the British-run school at Oshawa, Canada, the same school where Ian Fleming, the creator of James Bond, was trained. White referred to the school in his diaries as the Oshawa School of Mayhem and Murder. Mike Burke, former OSS colleague of White's and now president of Madison Square Garden Center.
Very compelling fella, mysterious fella, almost mystical fella. He was fascinating because you knew something about him, but not enough about him to really get a fix on him. He also knew a great deal about the swifter elements of society, the gamier side of life, and he was very impressive in his technical knowledge of the underworld, so to speak.
He said, one of our men gets beat up. He says, you have to act real fast and teach these guys a lesson.
Charles Siragusa, a former narcotics officer and friend of White's.
He'll come around, he says, and break your kneecaps. And with that, one guy laughed, and George would always have little Billy with him. And this one guy saw us naked. George White turned around and whacked him across the neck with it. Then he picked up a pool stick and started beating everybody up.
He made his point.
And he made it.
All remained the same. As this 1952 CIA later colleagues would not stop trying. The goal remained the same. As this 1952 CIA memo says, the aim is controlling an individual to the point where he will do our bidding against his will, and even against such fundamental laws of nature as self-preservation.
pledge of the United States with the statement.
Good morning. I'm here because my young brother was killed at the Tower facility in 2018, and the sheriffs covered it up. They lied about it. They didn't follow their own procedures for officer-related incidents. You guys talked about officer shootings today, but before the policy was the same for any incident that involved law enforcement, whether shooting or in custody deaths, we should do the same procedures. As of this morning, I looked at my brother's information, he's still on the website. I was concerned that that would be eliminated, updated in the system. And so here we are, 2 years later, and he's still on the website, an inmate at Twin Towers with no release date. So, just crazy. That needs to be addressed. Like I said, the sheriffs, the homicide department deputies, I would assume that they would be highest caliber, almost highest integrity they would have. You think if you choose professions, but they're not. They're liars. I would like to see the criminal charges brought against these people. Set the example. Them investigating their own, as was mentioned here earlier, is inappropriate. As long as it makes no sense. Why not implement some kind of plan where there's some kind of Mothers of America kind of group, maybe, yeah, something like that.
Thank you, your time is up. What's your brother's name?
Daniel Arteaga.
Orgiano or Artiaga?
Arteaga.
Artiaga. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, thank you, everyone. We're going to, any comments from you? So, thank you all for coming out on a Saturday. This is the first time we've been able to do this, and I appreciate that we've had
ad hoc committee, the Oversight Commission adopted its recommendations to the Sheriff's Department. There are a few policies that are problematic or don't take full advantage of the Sheriff's Department's proposed policies that are problematic or don't take full advantage of the benefits of body-worn cameras both to the public and to the Sheriff's Department. So the long and short of it is we had hoped to have something to you today. We don't, but I am optimistic that we've had 2 meetings already of the ad hoc committee on body-worn cameras. And I'm optimistic that within the next week or 2, we'll have a report with respect to the 2 areas that we think warrant recommendations for further considerations by the Sheriff's Department with respect to body-worn cameras and policies around them. I think we're all in agreement, Tony, the ad hoc committee was that whatever we do here, it's important not to make perfect the enemy of the good, and that is that whatever we're doing here, that we not slow down the implementation of body-worn cameras at the earliest possible time by the Sheriff's Department. So that's a very brief update, status report on where we're at.
Okay, thank you. We look forward to hearing more, and possibly will be an agenda item for the March meeting. Okay, so now we have an opportunity. Are there any other questions? Sorry. Committee will.
Not on the body worn cameras, so that's what they're doing. As to the ad hoc committee on the deputy clinks,
Let me put the nail in this coffin real tight. God hates a coward.
It's not even a joke anymore to say, when did we step into the Twilight Zone? The Twilight Zone has become reality. Science fiction has become science fact.
In bits and pieces. This is an attempt to pull most of it together. We know we don't have the full story. We do, however, have some striking new revelations and insights.
Well, I lived through it.
This man worked on some of these programs. He would write of his work, it was fun, fun, fun.
We are not professing to tell you the complete story of these activities. We are professing to tell you the complete story that we know. But these records that we've uncovered don't tell the story. They tell pieces of it.
This is a story that has been told in bits and pieces. This is an attempt to pull most of it together. We know in bits and pieces. This is an attempt to pull most of it together. We know we don't have the full story. We do, however, have some striking new revelations and insights. It was here that the first halting steps toward mind control began. The shaper and molder of OSS was General Wild Bill Donovan. He said of his group's work, "We may have made mistakes, but we were not afraid to try things that were never done before." In this anything-goes atmosphere, Donovan appointed this man, Stanley Lovell, a Boston industrialist, to break new ground in many scientific and technical fields. Donovan called Lovell his Dr. Moriarty, after the fiendish professor in Sherlock Holmes. Lovell liked the name and posed for this Saturday Evening Post photo. He later wrote of his OSS job that it was, quote, to stimulate the PEC's bad boy beneath the surface of every American scientist, and to say to him, throw all of your normal law-abiding concepts out of the window. Here's a chance to raise merry hell. It was in this atmosphere that the search for mind control began. This bizarre man would be an active participant in that search over the next 2 decades. His name is George White, an OSS captain who had formerly been with the Bureau of Narcotics. In his diary, seen here publicly for the first time, White left a legacy of the darker side of American intelligence work. He received his early OSS training at the British-run school at Oshawa, Canada, the same school where Ian Fleming, the creator of James Bond, was trained. White referred to the school in his diaries as the Oshawa School of Mayhem and Murder. Mike Burke, former OSS colleague of White's and now president of Madison Square Garden Center.
Very compelling fella, mysterious fella, almost mystical fella. He was fascinating because you knew something about him, but not enough about him to really get a fix on him. He also knew a great deal about the swifter elements of society, the gamier side of life, and he was very impressive in his technical knowledge of the underworld, so to speak.
He said, one of our men gets beat up. He says, you have to act real fast and teach these guys a lesson.
Charles Siragusa, a former narcotics officer and friend of White's.
He'll come around and he says, and break your kneecaps. And with that, one guy laughed, and George would always have little Billy with him. And this one guy saw us naked. George White turned around and whacked him across the neck with it. Then he picked a pool stick and started beating everybody up.
He made his point.
And he made his point.
George White was not a man of understatement or subtleties. His boss at OSS, Stanley Lovell, referred to him as deadly and dedicated. Trying. The goal remained the same. As this 1952 CIA later colleagues would not stop trying. The goal remained the same. As this 1952 CIA memo says, the aim is controlling an individual to the point where he will do our bidding against his will, and even against such fundamental laws of nature as self-preservation.